Hila's victory beyond indifference to find true family and independence. Hila was a 7-year-old girl when her younger brother Liam was born prematurely and in need of special care. From that moment on, all the attention and love of Hila's parents fell on Liam. Hila, who had been cared for and loved, suddenly found herself becoming a superfluous in the family. Her mother quit her part-time job to spend more time in the hospital with Liam, while her father rushed to work to cover the hospital bills. The house gradually gets cold for Hila, as everything seems to revolve around Liam's health. The changes in the family not only stop at the lack of care, but also open up a chain of injustices that Hila has to endure. When Liam is taken home, Hila realizes she has to take care of herself, from making lunch, tying her own shoelaces, to solving problems that her parents should have supported. Hila gradually became a reluctant, independent child. Even on Hila's 8th birthday, her parents completely forgot about this special day, only remembering when Hila's teacher called to remind her. The hurried birthday cake and the gift is an old Liam toy with his name still on the label as a testament to forgetfulness. The apparent bias continued as Hila grew up. Every time Hila achieves an academic achievement or award, her parents only respond with loudspeaker compliments, often quickly turning their attention to things related to Liam. Hila felt that she had no place in the family. While she wore worn-out old clothes, Liam regularly had new toys and clothes. Hila is not only forgotten but also has to witness the injustices in the way her parents treat her and her brother. However, Hila did not let herself drown in sadness. She began to look for comfort elsewhere, especially at Aunt Vivian's house. There, Hila first felt the care and recognition she had always craved. This gradually becomes an important refuge, connecting the story to the greater injustices that Hila will face in the future. Hila gradually realizes that in her family, everything revolves around Liam. The younger brother is always pampered and receives absolute attention, while Hila is seen as a bystander. From taking on most of the household chores to being ignored for all personal accomplishments, Hila must learn to face injustice on her own. Although she has achieved many excellent achievements at school, from academic awards to being reported in the local newspaper, recognition from her parents has always been fleeting, if not completely absent. Instead, Hila finds solace in the home of her Aunt Vivian, her father's sister. Aunt Vivian and Uncle Henry treated Hila like a biological daughter, always giving her the attention and love she lacked in her home. There, Hila can feel comfortable being herself, being heard and recognized. Cousin Lila, who is a few years younger than Isa, also became a close companion, whom Hila felt was an ideal sister. Aunt Vivian's house is not only a shelter, but also a place that helps Hila understand that she deserves love and respect. However, Hila's relationship with his family is still increasingly strained. When Hila started working part-time at a cafe to have money to buy the things she needed, her parents not only didn't support her, but also asked her to contribute half of her salary to help the family. Meanwhile, Liam doesn't have to do anything and still enjoys all the privileges. Even when Hila saved up to buy a smartphone, the first item she bought with her own money, Liam ruined it in a fit of jealousy, without any consequences. The injustice not only hurts Isla, but also makes her more determined. Words of encouragement from Uncle Henry that she has a bright future if she focuses on her studies have become a great source of motivation. Isla plunged into her studies, participating in academic competitions and extracurricular activities to prove her worth. Aunt Vivian's house became her greatest source of emotional support, helping Isla overcome feelings of abandonment and injustice. It was their love and support that laid the foundation for Isla's determination to build an independent life, leading to great change in the future. Isla grew attached to Aunt Vivian, Uncle Henry, and Cousin Lila. They not only bring her comfort, but also become a source of motivation to help Isla believe in her abilities. At Aunt Vivian's house, she felt loved and valued, something she never had in her family. Evenings doing homework with Uncle Henry or shopping with Lila have become moments that Isla cherishes. That helped her realize that love and care do not depend on blood, but on sincere choice and companionship. However, when Isla returns home, the harsh reality of injustice awaits. Liam continued to be pampered, while Ela had to do most of the housework and take on financial responsibilities from an early age. All her efforts, whether it is studying or part-time work, are taken for granted by her parents. When Ela tried to stand up for her rights, she often received criticism, even reproaches, that she was selfish or irresponsible to her family. It all came to a head when Ela received a full scholarship from a prestigious university. She happily shared this news with her parents, hoping that they would eventually be proud of her. But instead, they asked her to pay an absurd amount of rent, even though they knew she couldn't do it. Ela tried to explain that she would be a full-time student and couldn't make enough money to pay rent while studying. However, her parents coldly replied that if she couldn't pay back, then she should go out and stand on her own feet. Ela's heart was broken when she was kicked out of the house, not because she did something wrong, but simply because she couldn't meet her parents' unfair demands. Fortunately, Aunt Vivian and Uncle Henry were ready to pick her up. They opened their arms, providing her with a safe place to live and support to continue pursuing her college dreams. With their help, Isla not only has shelter, but also the opportunity to start over, leading to his journey to build an independent life. After being kicked out of the house by her parents because she could not pay the ridiculous rent, Isla went to Aunt Vivian and Uncle Henry in a state of despair. She brought a few items with her, and her heart was broken, feeling like she was abandoned by her own family. But Aunt Vivian and Uncle Henry did not hesitate to welcome her into the house with open arms. "I've always had a place here," Aunt Vivian said, and that gave Ela a sense of security that she had been lacking for so long. The following months and days were an important transition period in Isla's life. Living with Aunt Vivian and Uncle Henry, she received not only financial, but also spiritual support. They encouraged Ela to focus on her studies, not letting the trauma from her former family hold her back. They did not let her pay the rent or contribute money to buy things, only emphasizing, "My task is to study and build the future." Thanks to the help of Aunt Vivian and Uncle Henry, Isla was able to start college with a solid foundation. She studied and worked part-time at a cafe to take care of her own personal expenses. Despite her busy schedule, Ela is constantly striving and doing her best to pursue her dreams. Words of encouragement from Uncle Henry, such as, "I have great potential, don't let anyone doubt me," motivated Isla to overcome all challenges. Living in Aunt Vivian's loving environment, Isla felt what it was like to be a real family. They are not only relatives, but also people who always put her interests and happiness first. Ela gradually learns to love herself and understands that she deserves a better life. Determined to escape the shadow of her former family, Isla plunged into her studies and work. She believes that, in order to assert her worth, she must prove that she can build an independent life. From this loving haven, Ela is getting closer to the future she has always dreamed of, leading to her next journey of career development and financial independence in Italy. Living under the roof of Aunt Vivian and Uncle Henry, Ela has the opportunity to focus entirely on her studies and building her future. Surrounded in a loving and supportive environment, Ela realized that she needed not only to overcome the trauma from her former family, but also to prove her worth by building an independent life. Throughout her college years, Ela maintained a part-time job at a cafe to take care of her own personal expenses while ensuring excellent academic results. Every time she receives a salary, Ela feels that she is getting closer to her goal of financial independence. She gradually learned how to manage money and save, which her former family had never taught her before. These skills become an important foundation for Ela's adult life. Besides studying, Isla actively participates in extracurricular activities and internships. She joins academic clubs, works in teams on major projects, and takes every opportunity to expand her network. Ela understands that in order to build a career, she needs to do more than just do well in class. Thanks to these efforts, she won an internship position at a reputable consulting firm just before graduation, an important stepping stone to starting a professional career. After graduating with high achievements, Isla received an official job offer at that consulting firm. The starting salary is not too high, but Isla sees this as an opportunity to develop and prove his ability. She is not afraid to work overtime, take on difficult projects, and learn new skills to improve her self-worth. Isla applied the spirit of determination and discipline she had cultivated during the difficult years, and gradually she progressed in her career. Just a few years later, Isla was promoted to a managerial position with a salary that was enough for her to realize her dream of owning a house of her own. When she shared the news with Aunt Vivian and Uncle Henry, they couldn't hide their pride. "You did it," Aunt Vivian said. "We always knew you were going to succeed." The decision to buy her first home was not only a financial milestone, but also an affirmation of Isla's independence. However, looking back on her journey, Isla knows that her success is not only due to her personal efforts, but also to the love and support of her real family: Aunt Vivian, Uncle Henry, and cousin Lila. Isla began looking for a suitable home and discovered that her family's old house was for sale. She decides to buy it back, not for revenge, but to close the past and affirm that she has overcome all the trauma. Not only did this mark a new turning point in Isla's life, but it also led to a major turning point in her relationship with her old family, which was explored in the next idea. When Isla discovered that her family's old house was for sale, she felt a strong urge. The house that was once a symbol of injustice, hurt, and heartbreaking memories is now an opportunity for her to close the past and assert control of her life. With a senior management position and strong finances, Isla decided to buy the house, not for revenge, but to turn it into a new symbol of strength and independence. The process of buying a house took place quickly thanks to the help of Caroline, Isla's real estate brokerage friend. She carefully kept her identity private throughout the transaction, making sure her ex-family didn't know that the buyer was Isla. When the paperwork was completed, Isla officially became the legal owner of the house where she had endured much suffering. Isla's next step is to notify the former family of the change of ownership. She asked Caroline to act as a representative to arrange a meeting. When she arrives at her old home to discuss the new lease, Isla comes face to face with her parents and Liam for the first time after years of separation. They were completely surprised to realize that Isla was the new owner of the house. Confusion and shock were evident on their faces when Isla frankly announced the new rent, twice as high as before. Her parents reacted harshly, arguing that Isla's request was unfair, while Liam angrily shouted that Isla was taking revenge. But Isla, with the calmness she had cultivated over the years, replied, "This is not revenge, this is business. Like you said, if I can't pay the rent, I have to take care of myself. Now that applies to you." Despite reproaches and pleadings, Isla stood his ground. She gave them 30 days to decide, either pay the new rent or move out. During that time, Isla received numerous calls from her family, mixed with pleading and threatening, but she did not answer any calls. She knew she needed to keep her distance and not let her emotions dominate her decision. A month later, Isla stood watching from across the street as her former family left the house, taking their meager belongings with her. Although the bitter feeling remained, Isla did not feel joy or gloating. Instead, she felt a sense of relief and liberation. Her past, full of wounds, was now closed. After they left, Isla began to renovate the house. She removed the old walls, repainted the new space, and redecorated the house in a way that made her feel comfortable and proud. The kitchen where she used to work as a maid is now a modern, inspiring space. Liam's old room, which had once been a sanctuary of pampering, was converted into Isla's office, a place filled with light and bookshelves. The renovation of the house is not only a change in physical space, but also a process of emotional healing for Isla. Every step forward in the renovation work is an affirmation that she has overcome her pain and made this house a symbol of freedom and strength. Isla's story continues in the 7th Italian, where she completely finds the true meaning of family. After renovating her old house, Isla feels like a new chapter in her life has officially begun. The home, once a place of grief and injustice, has now become a space of peace and personal strength. With each change, from removing old traces on the walls to redecorating the rooms, Isla feels the process of healing and rebirth in her own soul. While Isla's ex-family gradually became a strange part of life, Aunt Vivian, Uncle Henry, and Lila were always at the center of the real family she built. They regularly visit Isla at their new home, host cozy dinners, and enjoy time together. For them, Isla is not only a relative, but also an indispensable part of the family. Their conversations, meals, and presence help Isla realize that family is not blood, but choice, love, and sincere support. Every day, Isla feels the deep meaning of taking control of her life. She not only succeeded in her career, but also built a balanced and happy life. Although she has suffered a lot of trauma, she does not let the past control the present. Instead, she learned to appreciate those who have chosen to love and accompany her. Isla realized that revenge does not bring satisfaction, but forgiveness and rebuilding her life. She overcame all odds to find true family and the true meaning of love and support.